We actually have now grown, and we use science-backed methodology to really help people build cultures that drive retention, higher EMPS, and productivity. And we do all that through really like 5 key areas: recognition, award, reward, listening, and wellness. And so we try to put all those together to really build a program, because what we've seen, the problems in today's world, is so many things are fragmented. Whether it's fragmented in operational silos, meaning one division's doing something, another division is doing something, or you've got different pieces and parts. You've got a recognition program, you've got a vendor who's supplying awards, you've got a separate survey tool. Maybe you're doing something for wellness, maybe you aren't. But it's all fragmented, and when you pull all those together, we've actually been able to find ways to make measurable outcomes, because we link all that together.
Measurement's so important.
Exactly. We can actually help you see what is really working in your reward and recognition program. One of the examples I use often is, unfortunately, there's a lot of vanity stats out there. We have 95% engagement. Really what they mean is 95% logins, right, to their platform.
That's a good point.
Right?
Yeah, that doesn't necessarily mean they're engaged.
Exactly. I use the example, if I gave everyone in my company a $100 Amazon gift card, I could get 95% to log in. Right? But it doesn't mean they're more tied to the mission, vision, and values of the organization.
Right.
The only way you know that is to ask. You truly have to have a conversation. Now, those conversations, the way we know, is
interview is one way to do it.
Yes, exactly. But the other way is, doing an employee engagement survey.
Yeah.
But with our platform, you're able to link these together to say, now let's look at your most recognized, and let's go look at their net retention, and is it working, right? And you can actually prove that it's working. Or perhaps you can use it to then drive to other parts of your organization and say, look, this department has leaned in. They say have higher EMPS with higher participation.
Isn't it great you can measure things like that now?
But it's so important, right?
It is.
Because before, we've gotten in this concern of what I call correlation, right? Meaning you have a reward and recognition program where you're giving out lots of gift cards.
Yeah.
And over here, you've got a EMPS or a survey tool, but you don't know if the score is really related to this. It might be low, and they're saying, well, why do we do this reward and recognition program? Let's get rid of it. But it may have nothing to do with that. That might actually be great.
True.
But guess what? We call this part of our critical few, which is the fact that we all know them, right? There's a handful of people that are relied on day in, day out, doing all this, and they might be recognized a lot, right? Highly recognized people. But what happens
highly
is
visible as well.
yes, but what happens if they don't see a path to progression? What happens if they feel as though their leadership isn't supporting them? What happens if they have financial troubles or emotional problems? They aren't going to show up. And we can actually see that in our survey, meaning you can see that you have a group of highly recognized that are struggling with some piece. That gives you insight that helps you do your job, right? And helps you lead an organization. And that's what's important to us and what we talk about, a program and not just a product.
Yeah. You have to know what turns people on, really.
Well, yeah, but I would look at it in 2 different things. One is, obviously, there's the recognition moment, right? And recognize an employee. And you certainly want to understand what people are, but to me, it's about the personal moment, right? And so I'll use the 2 words, award and reward, right? You're talking about rewards, right? But there's also the award, and something that they've earned,
recognition,
right? And something that can't get purchased, right? And so I use the example often of, one, when you're giving recognition in somebody, do it in a setting that others can see. Do a personal moment. Yes, we have
that's the kind of person that some people don't.
Some people, but you can still make it personal, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be in front of a crowd.
Everybody.
It doesn't have to be in front of a crowd,
Right.
but you can do it one-on-one, right? You should absolutely know that. But then second piece is give them something that can be earned. Something that, if you have this thing on your desk or on your bookshelf, someone comes up and says, hey, what's that? They get to relive that moment again, right? And they become a brand ambassador for you, right?
Yeah.
Not only, and they get that dopamine hit. They got it because they were recognized. They got a second dopamine hit when you gave when you handed it to them personally. And then when someone came and asked them, they got another dopamine hit. The last piece is, of course, there's the reward side, right? What do people want? Yeah. And that's honestly choice. Making sure that you have a broad offering, whether that's a merchandise catalog, whether that's experiences and those types of things. For us, we want to be kind of like agnostic in terms of the what. We have a full offering, anything that you want. But for us, what's really important is you do that combination of the actual recognition, the award, meaning something that is branded for your company, that's special for that, something that they can strive to earn, and then a reward. Yeah, something that they can personally go pick out and do. And that right balance, that's what makes the biggest impact.